Hey guys, my name is Esther. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. So I usually make videos about teaching English online, maybe some Christian apologetics, and some travel vlogs. Well, I've been saying travel vlogs for quite a while, and I don't have any travel plans as of now, but Lord willing, someday. And today I really just want to talk some about my spiritual journey. So some of you may know I grew up in Brazil. My mom is from Brazil and my dad is from the US, and they met in Brazil and they worked as missionaries with an indigenous village there. So both my parents are linguists and my mom is a nurse, and so they would go to the village every few months, I guess, for a certain period of time, because the school where my sister and I attended was in the main city, and that's also where my mom's family was. So I did go with my parents to the Indian village several times. I have some memories, probably not the best memories. I was a bit of a fearful child. There's a lot of things that really freaked me out. But one thing that really stuck with me even into adulthood was a lot of times when we would be driving there and we would be getting close to the Indian village, I would get this horrible sense of oppression. I would just be so scared and so depressed, and I'd just be crying for no reason. And I do remember though that my parents, of course, would pray for me, being believers in Jesus, pray in the name of Jesus, and I would feel this calm wash over me. And I also had this feeling the same a couple times when my parents also went to the village and my sister and I stayed behind with some friends. And I really do think it was demonic presence or of some sort, maybe just trying to get my parents not to keep continuing their work, sharing the gospel in the indigenous village. So I was also a very inquisitive child, and I've always struggled with a lot of doubts about Christianity throughout my childhood especially. And so when I was about 14 years old, we were now living in the United States, my parents convinced me to go on a mission trip with this youth group, and the trip was to Cancun, Mexico, so it wasn't that hard to convince me. But on this trip, I just really saw God help me overcome a lot of these doubts. Before the trip, we had to go through this devotional, and I remember we had to write out this prayer to God. And I really struggled with this, but I really just asked him, I think you're real, help me with my doubts. And I really feel he did just that on that trip. And I saw so many awesome answers to prayers. And I also started reading the book of Romans, which if you have not read the book of Romans, I definitely encourage you to check it out, especially chapter 3. That was really eye-opening to me, just understanding what exactly is the gospel. And then I came back from that trip and I was so excited. I just wanted to tell everybody, right? If you are saved, you probably understand that moment when it clicks and you just want everyone to know. And a few months later, the following summer, I went on another trip to Trinidad and Tobago. And this trip, it was a lot different. We didn't see maybe as many amazing answers to prayers or that many people come to know Jesus. However, I did experience this oppression again, and it came at the middle of the night. I woke up one night and I was just so afraid and so depressed, and just out of nowhere, I wasn't thinking about anything. I just woke up with this sense of oppression, and I remember thinking what is going on, and then immediately praying go away in the name of Jesus and feeling this calm. And that whole trip was kind of strange. There was another situation with a friend of mine who she almost died after stepping on a stonefish. And my mom said that she had had a dream. I believe it was the night before we had gone out to the beach and this had happened. She had this dream the night before, and that she knew from this dream that she needed to gather the parents together to be praying for us. And thankfully my friend made it. We had to leave. Well, yeah, she ended up going to the ER, but thank God everything was all right. And so that was just a very crazy experience, but I am so grateful because not only did God encourage me and help me with my doubts, but he also showed me how powerful he is and how really we don't have to fear. So I guess it would be great to say that was it and I never struggled or doubted my faith again, but high school was a difficult time. I definitely had more doubts. I had an atheist teacher who had a lot of questions, and I really struggled because I knew what I had experienced. I knew the joy and the forgiveness and the peace I had experienced in Jesus, but I didn't know how to answer the intellectual objections from this professor or this teacher. And so it made me really start studying, and I'm really grateful. One summer, my parents sent me to not an apologetics camp, it was just a summer camp. But one of the courses I took was on Christian apologetics. If you're not familiar with that word, apologetics, it comes from the Greek word apologia. It just means to give a defense for your faith. So it's like the logical, like reasoning behind why we believe Christianity is true. And that's what I hope to do some videos on in the near future, but I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my story. And if you are a believer, I just encourage you to be bold and know that God's got you, and greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. And I pray that you would just be a light wherever you are and share, because there's so many people that are just like in darkness, and they need this hope, they need this light. So I just wanted to share that with you all today, and I hope you have a great day. Till next time, peace.